Hey there, everyone. Dr. Brad here from Tenino Chiropractic and Wellness Center here in Tenino. And I wanted to jump on, sorry about that, I wanted to jump on the Facebook Live here today to talk about an important thing that comes up a lot in our office, believe it or not. And that is when we have a brand new patient to us who joins us, that we get asked a lot of questions on the phone and on their first day, the day one visit, we like to call it. And the biggest question we get is, I'm coming in for, back pain or neck pain or headaches, or my kid has digestive issues, or I can't sleep at night, or whatever brings the person in. Typically, there is a specific problem that's bringing them in the door. And totally understand the desire to have that problem addressed and fixed as fast as possible. So it's confusing sometimes when a person finds out that they're not going to actually get adjusted on that first visit. But let me tell you why we don't adjust on that first visit. So to do that, I have to tell you a little bit about what we do on that first visit and then the rationale behind it. So not to belabor it, but what we'll do is you and I would sit down, or they and I would sit down and go in depth over their history of their health. So accidents, traumas, any number of things. If they're children, we'll even talk about their the pregnancy, birth, and early childhood. And we want to get into what's been going on with this person, any medications they're on, any surgeries, so on and so forth. After that, we do a highly specialized computerized nerve function scan. So this is a computerized scan that is a series of 3 different tests that really allow us to look at the function of the nervous system at 3 different levels. The reason we do that, it kind of goes back to the reason why we do what we do at all in chiropractic, and that is, focus on the health, balance, and the alignment of your spine. But really, we do that not because of back pain or neck pain or headaches or, those reasons that most people come in the door. But really, we do that because your spine houses and protects your spinal cord. And all of the nerve connections between your brain and our body travel through there. So whenever our spine is out of alignment or out of balance, it affects the function of the nervous system. So it messes up the ability of the brain and body to communicate properly. Now, sometimes that causes pain, back pain, leg pain, headaches, numbness and tingling, and so on and so forth. But more often it does not, because over 2/3 of all of those nerve connections that travel through our spine have nothing to do with sensation. And they are the ones that control things like our muscles and our organs and our glands and our blood vessels and all those other structures. And they allow our brain to coordinate the function of those structures. So if you think about other systems of our body, digestive system, for example, it's really just a collection of organs and glands that all work together to achieve a purpose, which is to digest our food and give us energy and help us rebuild our body and so forth. But the way they work in a coordinated fashion to move the food through and digest it properly is all coordinated and controlled by our brain. So you can imagine if that communication pipeline between brain and those organs is disrupted, that system would not be able to work in a coordinated manner. Now, sometimes that causes no noticeable symptoms, maybe a little indigestion, slow bowel movements, whatnot. But sometimes, and especially if it's been there for a while, we start to see bigger and bigger symptoms: acid reflux, chronic constipation, so on and so forth, right? So that is the vital reality of our spine and nervous system. And that's why our exam really focuses on the function of the nervous system and looking at it with our computerized scans to see how it's functioning, where those disruptions might be, and really allows me to kind of open a window and see into your nervous system and really address the main cause of the problem. So we do that, and then we usually do some things with movement of the spine and body and posture, because those really tell us a lot to give us a well-rounded picture of what's going on. But here's the thing. To understand and analyze the computerized scans that we do on that first visit takes some time and attention on my part. I really have to sit down and focus and take a little while to go over them, to look at that in comparison with your history and the other findings, to get a very good idea of what's going on and how best to address really the underlying causes that are causing the problems you came in with, and maybe even problems that you didn't realize could be helped. And then once I've done that, we have you come back as soon as usually the next day or even sometimes later that day, and I go over those findings in depth with you and explain, like, here's what I see going on, here's how I can help, and here's what that would look like. And only at that point then are we ready to do the adjustment. And the reason is because I need to have the proper information to really not waste your time, not waste my time, and really start getting to the underlying cause. I need that information and to analyze those computerized scans so we really make the right adjustment. I wouldn't just want to have you walk in the door, throw you on the table, and start going at it without really understanding what's going on underneath the surface. So we're really addressing the problem and not just sort of shooting in the dark. So that's really why we don't do that adjustment on day one. It's an important thing. It's one of the most important sort of quote-unquote rules we have here in the office, is that we don't adjust on that day one. And it's not about whether we do or we don't. The real truth of it is that I need to have all of the information, the well-rounded information, to be able to know actually how to do the right adjustment. So you get the right adjustment so that we get the right outcomes. All right, hopefully that answers that question for you. Certainly if you got any other questions related to this or anything else, you're welcome to put it down in the comments below this video. I'll check in on that and type some answers in there if you got any questions. But otherwise, I appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next time.